Hello, all sentient beings, and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers! On this episode, our Best of 21 Transformers survey is finally live. We've got third-party mini and Masterpiece-sized Aerialbots, and the Hasbro Legacy of the Pretenders lives on. Or does it? Today is Wednesday, January 26th, 2022, and this is episode 470 of Transmissions. Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that wonders, since human viruses get names that sound like Transformers, do Transformers get viruses with names that sound like humans? I'm your host Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going?
Apollo, aka Robo Apollo.
Hi, what's up, everyone?
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Sorry, I caught Steve. Let's talk Transformers.
Are you a Transformer?
Oh, I just gave it away. Sorry.
You
know my secret.
Cybertronian Beast.
Oh, another hint. My secrets are unraveling.
It's a pretty poor disguise for a robot in disguise.
No worse than my buddy Optimus with a trailer that says Optimus along the side.
That was only in G2. That was after he had already revealed his identity. All right. Anyway, as always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you, everyone out there, for continuing to help us out and keep the show going. We really appreciate it. And one of the perks of being a Donatreon is that you get access to our bonus episodes of Empire of Rust, the Transformers Live Play RPG podcast. And this week we have the uncut version of Empire of Rust episode 68, Rogue Star Trench Run. And this is exclusive to Donatrons because episode 68, the regular one, will not be out until next Monday. But you already have access to it right now if you are a Donatron. You get access to the bonus early episode. It's about 2 hours long, where the final cut is only an hour and 15 minutes. So lots of extra stuff in there. Enjoy. You get the story early before everyone else. So don't spoil it for anyone, but enjoy. And we are excited to announce finally, after a little bit of a delay, but it's still January, so we're not too far away from 2021. We are finally ready to announce our yearly Transmissions Toys and Comics survey. So this is best of the year for toys and comics. We do this every year. We've got it together. It's ready. It's live. We've got a link in the show notes. We'll probably have a short link ready, and everyone check it out. Take the survey and let us know what you think. What were your favorites for this year's Transformers toys and comics that came out?
Mm-hmm. If I've done my job right, Charles, this survey is going to be everywhere. You're going to be able to find this thing everywhere. So, yeah, I'll have it on Reddit. You'll be able to see it on Reddit and my Facebook. You know about my Facebook, Charles? It'll be on my Facebook and Twitter. I have it on Twitter, so check it on Twitter. All the major platforms. Instagram, we have Instagram. Did you know we have an Instagram account, Charles? So hopefully we'll have it on there. It is going to be plastered everywhere, and we're hoping to have. If you've taken the survey and you have social media, retweet it and get it out there. And, the more eyes on it, the better. We want to see a nice amount of people taking this survey, because we want to know what the fandom thought of last year's selection of toys and comics.
It was a really incredible year, just looking at all the pictures, like of all the figures and stuff. Mm-hmm. So Daryl and Charles did a lot of work getting all these things in here, and I just sat back and tweaked a couple images. But so Daryl, being our social media manager, can you make sure we get a live journal and get it up there too?
Sure.
Is LiveJournal still live?
Yeah, I think it's owned by the Russians now.
No.
But I'll have transmissionspodcast.com/survey pointing to it by the time it's live.
Okay. Don't use any of the same passwords on any other accounts for the LiveJournal one.
Oh, password 123 isn't good anymore.
Transformers are cool. 1984.
We should be doing this off air. We can't.
Oh.
If only we could edit this out before we published it. Also, and I think this is new for our survey this year. We are going to give away some prizes. So these will be picked at random. So it's just enter the survey and you get a chance to win a prize. We're giving away.
Well, you're going to have to give us your email address in the survey.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah, that's
we
true.
have to be able to contact you if you win.
Yes.
So.
Yes. So if you want to just take the survey and give us your opinion, that's fine. But if you want to be entered into the contest for the prize, you have to give us your email address.
It'll only be used for the contest.
Yes, we will not sell the email address to advertisers or Russians or anything else. It's just so we can contact you if you win the contest. So we are giving away 3 prizes for taking the survey. So you can only win one. If you win one prize, you don't win any of the other ones. So, but Daryl, why don't you tell everyone what prizes we are offering?
Sure thing. Yeah. We got some pretty good prizes. So we're going to give away 3 different kind of prizes here. The third one is a I'm calling it a media pack, but it's essentially the 86 movie. It's the
4K Blu-ray.
4K Blu-ray Steelbook, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the Steelbook. And that's the one that just came out.
Yeah, and it has that print.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's that package that came with the Steelbook and the print.
Right on. And then you've got the Respect the Prime CD.
Well, the Respect the Prime Constructed Cold
CD.
So it's
right?
the one that referenced the IDW comic.
Right. Yeah. And I'm sorry. Was there anything else that you had from that for that pack, Jeremy?
No, that's all we had for the meeting.
Okay. Right on. So that's a pretty good one. You got the print, you got the movie, and you get the Respect the Prime Constructed Gold CD. So that's a pretty good amount of stuff. The second prize is going to be the Generation Selects G2 Megatron figure that did not come out this year, but it did come out last year and as an exclusive. So that's a pretty cool figure, and I know I like mine. So it's a pretty cool figure. It is sealed, so it's a new figure. Nothing that we're giving away is used, so it's all brand new stuff. And the first prize is something that I know a lot of people are really want if they didn't already get, and it's something we've had sitting in our prize closet for quite some time. It's the Mastermind Creations Batwing, also known as Vexo Prominion. So this is the Batman figure, the not Batman that Mastermind Creations came out with at TFCon. Was it Toronto last year? I can't remember which TFCon they did it at.
It was 2020 when there was no TFCon.
Right, that's right. It was going to be
TFCon.
the Orlando one. That's right. Yes. So it was that TFCon. So it was an exclusive to TFCon that didn't happen. But this is going to be the first prize that we draw. Or the grand prize. There's nothing you can do to qualify to be the first, second, or third person. It's just going to be, the first person we pick will be third place. The second person we pick will be second place, and the first person or the last person we pick will be the first prize winner. So, but like Charles said, you gotta. You don't have to enter the prize for the prize. You don't have to give us your email address if you don't want to. But if you don't, then you don't get entered into the drawing for these prize packs. We're just getting kind of stuffed with prizes here, and we needed a way to get rid of them. So this seemed like a pretty good way to do it. And so yeah, we're pretty happy with the prizes that are available here, and yeah. So just let us know what you think of the offerings from last year. toys and comics, and you'll get entered in for one of these cool prizes.
All right. So without further ado, let's get into some toy topics.
All right. And up first this week, I wanted to talk about a figure or series of figures that I'm invested in because I bought 2 of them at TFCon Toronto this year or last year. And I was kind of curious. I didn't know a lot about them going in, and I just kind of, thought, well, maybe, these will look cool, and, we'll see how it goes. So this is the Zeta Toys Superitron Mini. This is the small version, the Legends class size version of the Zeta Toys Superion, and it's for myself, I had only ever seen the 2 figures that I bought at TFCon, which were the leg figures. So these pictures from Facebook on the DaimChoc page, they show the rest, so the 2 arms and the torso bot. And I gotta say, the thing looks great. The one thing that I was kind of questioning, because I really didn't do a whole hell of a lot of research going into it, was what was going to be done and how they were going to do the transformation or the combination to, Superion. And it looks to be a lot of that stuff that I was complaining about with regards to the New Age Devastator, whereas they have all 4 limb bots become their limbs, which is, kind of good. Now that's different than the New Age Constructicons, but the torso is really made up of a giant kind of just a piece that they plug into. And that's a kind of unfortunate. You really don't need the Silverbolt figure if you wanted to make the aerial, the Superion figure, which kind of sucks, but that's the way it is. The combination mode, the Superion figure all combined together looks amazing. It really does. But there's a huge cheat. They really do cheat because there's no combination for the torso. It looks like you just plug the the Silverbolt figure into the back of this kind of plate and then plug the limbs in, and then you're done. Like, there's no real, transforming into, its combined form. It's just slotting it into a cookie cutter kind of figure. Anyway, I wanted to open it up to you guys here because what are your thoughts? This is the first time we've seen the Superion here. We've seen this before, like I said, with the New Age Devastator. And this is kind of seeming like the way things are starting to go. These Legends class companies, these ones doing the combiners, are opting to go towards a much better looking combined form and taking away from the act of combining them, the transformation involved with combining them. Charles, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, this is faux chess taken to the next level, right? I mean,
oh yeah,
this is yeah, and my feelings on that. I'm not a fan of the faux chest, so yeah, I want all natural combiners. This is so yeah. The individual figures look great. I mean, the individual Aerialbots look good. The 4 limbs, arms and legs all look good. But yeah, I don't like this trend here. I mean, I understand. You want if you really care about how the combined mode looks. I mean, it does look really nice it looks very G1 cartoon stylized there, but I'm always a fan of the figures. The point is that the toys actually transform and combine. It's not, even if it doesn't look exactly like what you see on TV or the animation or in the comic or whatever, making the toys actually combine and fit together is part of the fun of playing with them. I mean, that's what I loved as a kid. I mean, I didn't, even if the toys didn't look like exactly what they looked like at the show, that's what your imagination is for. So yeah, I feel like this is not for me, I guess. I get, for the folks who like it, it's great, but yeah, it's not for me.
Right on. Apollo, this is, it's not Starscream, but it's a bunch of other jets. I don't know whether you can, make a crossover to, a different kind of jet. There is an F-15 in here. One of the Aerialbots is an F-15, so you could make the distinction that it's kind of like Starscream, but it's not. This is a Legend scale combiner that does a lot of trickery to kind of make them look, good in combined mode. What are your thoughts on that whole kind of fake out that they're pulling off here?
I'm not a fan of it. I looked at the pictures that were posted, and I think it's cheap. Like, it's cheap engineering, and I get why they did it design-wise, but, part of the reason to have Transformer figures is to, be able to convert them. And, unless if it's one of these like statue-like figures, like what Flame Toys does and whatnot. But I think, it's kind of like, it's like a half attempt. It's, it's like if you're going to make a combiner, make it combine completely. Don't do this like fake chest, torso piece thing. It just doesn't, to me, it doesn't look right, but I think they're targeting a different type of collector perhaps with this. So, people that want the combined mode and maybe don't care about the whole converting transformation process. So, that's my thoughts on it. I mean, I think it looks fine as, the combined mode and the individual characters look fine, but, I'm going to pass on this, but I think if anyone's a fan of this character and they want to just have him on display, like, go for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm in for them. I'm already two figures committed, so I'm going to get it, but I am kind of disappointed. There is a picture I've added to the show notes here that does show the combined Superion with the Magic Square Devastator. Now, this is the Devastator that I'm also getting. This is not doing the trick that the Superion is doing, but it does have a whole bunch of other little bits that kind of go into the combination. Now, these bits can be combined into their own little kind of vehicle when they're not being used for the Devastator mode. And that really just kind of makes it better for me. They don't, when you're not using them for Devastator, it's not just a bit of a body kind of lying on the side, right? Mm-hmm. You can use them for something else. And that just seems, in my head, seems like it's okay now,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It looks clean. Like the new figure looks really clean. And I'm looking at this picture now because I missed looking at it, and they look nice together. Like, it's a nice display piece. So, I think it just, as a collector, it's what's important to you. Is it important for it to look, clean and streamlined, or is a part of actually moving around bits and pieces for these figures to combine them? Is that important to you? So,
Well, Jeremy, is it important to you to be able to move the things around without it kind of falling apart, or is it just being able to look at it and be happy with it in combined mode?
A little of both. I mean, typically I get the figures looking the way I want them to, and then they go on the shelf and stay like that until my kid goes by and pulls it off, and then I have to fix it again. Mm-hmm. So in some ways I do think it's better if it just kind of stays static, but I don't know. With these, I like the robot modes. I like the alt modes, and I like the look of the combined mode. But yeah, I agree with everything that's been said about this little piece in the middle to kind of, fake the combination stuff. That, at least it does look like, you can pose it well in combined mode, but, and I understand why they did it. because being legend scale, you're going to have to cut corners and cheat a bit. If this were Masterpiece scale, there would be no way that I think anyone would let them get away with this. But legend scale, there's only so much you can do without, having huge backpacks or having extra pieces just hanging off the characters.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think they look great in the forms that they're supposed to look. It's just you have to cheat a bit, and I don't know. I totally understand.
Yeah.
I don't really like it, but I understand.
Yeah. Well, I think I agree with you. When I finally am able to get the rest of this Superion figure, I'm going to dink around with it with the individual figures when I first get them. Then it will be combined, and like you, it will sit on a shelf in combined mode for the remainder of its days. That's just the way it is with me, and that's the way they go. I don't really mess around with them all that much, but I'm happy with the way that it looks in combined mode. When I look at it, I will know that there's a huge cheat going on to make it look the way it does, but when push comes to shove, frankly, I won't care too much. So that's, just the way it's going to be. But yeah, that's it for me this week. That's, a quick and easy kind of topic, a little, update for, my own personal collection, hopefully. But Jeremy, what did you find this week?
Well, let's stick with the Aerialbots for a minute. I have a bunch of Fans Toys gray prototypes here, but the first two are Aerialbots. They're FT30D Viper and FT30E Jester, and these are their versions of Fireflight and Slingshot. So I think this is where you would not be able to get away with that cheat in the combined mode. But they, Fans Toys, I don't think they would even try, especially at their quality levels. But I think these look really good. They're it's obviously the same figure, just modded a little bit differently for the different designs, but the heads look really great. I think Jester in particular, he has those sunglasses that at first when I saw it, I was like, is this a Leader 1 figure? But no, it looks great. You get some different heads. The alt modes look really good. Not much kibble. I mean, it looks like they hide everything inside it pretty well. And then we get to see them as arms. They can only be arms. It's not a Scramble City type combiner, but you get a left arm and a right arm between the two of them. And I don't know. I think this set of Aerialbots is just going to be really nice when we see them all in color. There's a picture of all five of them with the completed ones in color, and then these two in gray. And it looks like a really good team. So, Daryl, I guess we'll start with you since you were talking about the other, Aerialbots. What do you think of these?
I think they look fantastic. There's, the quality level on these is phenomenal. I was looking at the arm mode for Viper, and you can see these, the jet engines that are, at the back of the plane mode. They're up near the top of the arm. The tail fins too. It just, they bring everything from the back right up to the top, very similarly to what, the old G1 figures used to do. Now those old G1 figures, everything was really simple. It was all on one little piece of plastic, a little armature that just kind of flipped up. It was all simple. These are not simple. These are very complex, pieces of engineering. I'm very curious to know how they kind of pulled this off, because there's a hinge in there. There's an elbow joint in there that would, hinder any kind of, armature, to make that thing kind of happen. These Fans Toys combiners are grossly out of my price range. I'm very happy with sticking with the Legends class stuff. But they look gorgeous. These things look absolutely gorgeous, and I'm very jealous of the people that are pursuing these ones, because it's one of those ones that I think would look just phenomenal on my shelf.
Awesome. And Apollo, you were pretty tough on those ones we just looked at, but this is a completely different class. What are your thoughts on, like, if anything, the over-engineering of fans' toys with these figures?
It's always hard for me to like tell like from photos what something's going to be actually like versus in hand. But, I think, if someone's a masterpiece scale collector, they're going to love this. It seems like these masterpiece figures that have come out recently are very over engineered. I mean, anyone who has the new Optimus Prime masterpiece figure will know that it's a beast to transform. I think anyone who's trying to complete their collection of G1 style figures will like these. Like, there is a ton of detail on them. I like seeing the limbs. That's really cool. It looks like these are renders of the actual vehicle mode. They're not pictures. So I'd like to see what the actual vehicle mode looks like photo wise, and things will look different with color on them too. But, I think if someone wants something that combines and, converts, this is the way to go. If you, can afford the price tag, because I'm imagining these are pretty pricey.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure what the prices are, but as Daryl alluded, fans' toys are not cheap. So it's definitely out of my price range, but you're definitely paying for quality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely like a high quality piece just from these prototype images here that we've seen. So, I won't be buying it, but I'm sure there will be a lot of happy fans who will be buying this.
Mm-hmm. One of the previous figures from this set, the B figure, which they called Iceman, was $135, and that's just for one of the legs. So
wow.
I can assume that these both are going to be around the same price.
Silverbolt won't be more.
Silverbolt will be way more than that, yeah.
All right. Well, Charles, what do you think about these?
They look really nice. So, I mean, I'm impressed by the way the armed mode looks, and I wonder if it seems like the opposite of what we were complaining about with the previous ones, is that they've got everything here, everything integrated, and it looks like the vehicle mode and robot mode still look pretty good. So good job, fans toys. They look really nice. And Slingshot, of course, Jester was voiced by Rob Paulson in the G1 cartoon, so maybe that's some incentive for you, Jeremy.
Not much. I mean, I'm not going to spend, over $100 on one figure from a combiner.
Well, you'd have to get them all.
Yeah, no. But there are a couple other Fans Toys figures I want to talk about. This is FT56 Variator, which is their Masterpiece scale gears, and FT58 Diverge, which is their Masterpiece Swerve. And these are also great prototypes, but I think they also look really good. They're obviously, these are also the same basic figure, just with some tweaks. Gears has his classic freaky looking head. It's like, a block with a face in it, but I think, it looks good. Very posable for a mini-bot. And then the Swerve is like basically the entire torso and chest. Actually, they're making the robot modes look very different, because you don't even see the wheels for gears where you see them on Swerve. If you're expecting IDW Swerve, this is not really IDW Swerve. I mean, there's like one excited looking face that kind of resembles, but this is more your classic toy, G1 looking Swerve. But it looks really good. You get some clear plastic on the chest of Swerve, and like I said, very posable, and the vehicle mode on both of them look pretty much the same. I think these look really good. If you're collecting the Fans Toys mini bots, these are going to be another couple good additions. Daryl, the Superion figures might be too much, but what about the fans toy?
Well, I have bought a couple of the Fans Toys mini bots over the years. With regards to Swerve and Gears here, Gears especially, he brings up these feelings from just buying toys over the years. Seems like whenever I buy a collection or I buy figures at a garage sale or something like that, or a bunch of used toys, whenever I seem to come across them, there's always a frickin' G1 Gears in there. And it's always, loose as hell or in some kind of really crappy condition. And, so over the course of, collecting, I've probably had 7 to 9 Gears. It's one of those figures that I just cannot get away from and I can't get rid of. And so whenever I see one, I just have this instant, repulsion from this figure. I just don't want to be near it. So it's likely a very great figure. Personally, I can't stand looking at it just because of this feeling.
Warning.
Yeah, it's exactly it. I just can't be around it. The Swerve figure, it looks great as well. But the alt mode looks like Gears. And that's always the way that it sits in the box when I find them, is it's in its alt mode. The Swerve head and the body on it and stuff like that, that's a straight up G1 reference. So these would be passes for me, just out of the fact that I don't think I could make myself buy them even if I had all the money in the world. It's one of those things where it just sits wrong with me, and I don't, nothing against the figure. It's just my brain won't let me do it.
Yeah, you just have other outstanding reasons not to go for these. All right. Apollo, what are your thoughts on these two? Do you have any odd issues with G1 Gears?
No, Gears is hilarious. I really like that episode where he gets under mind control under Megatron, and he's all happy and stuff. That's a hilarious episode to me, because he's normally super grumpy, and just seeing him happy is so out of character that if I had the money, I'd probably get this actually and just keep him in happy mode, because it's oh, he looks so happy, even though he's a grumpy little guy. So, I think they did a really good job with his facial expressions, honestly. And I think, I think it's a pretty good representation of him. I'd like to see, these in color, more. It's really hard to tell when they're in grayscale and they're just prototypes. I think Swerve looks really good as well, or Diverge. He looks, and they look well together. So I think if you're a fan of mini bots, you should pick both of these up.
Cool. Yeah. And Charles, what are your thoughts on
The Gears looks good. I am pretty much a fan of IDW Swerve, so for me it's IDW Swerve or GTFO. So the Swerve is fine, but not for me. But the Gears looks pretty G1ified to me. So yeah, Gears looks good. And looks like he's got ankle tilts and everything, so looks really clean, really slick.
All right, cool. That is all I got this week. Apollo, what do you have?
Well, I have this week to talk about the Flames Toys Furai model IDW Windblade kit. There's some packaging and sample images that have been released on the internet, and I think this, I know there's a lot of controversy around this figure. There was on the internet when the original artwork was released on it, and the updates that we got to the artwork from the original concept art to the prototypes and to the finished product. I really like the art on the box. It has Windblade, wielding a blade, and there's all these explosions everywhere, and she's flying. I think that's really cool. It looks like there's 2 jets in the background, maybe some Seekers perhaps that she's fighting. The figure looks very poseable. I don't really like the poses they put her in, but that's just my personal preference. If I were to buy this figure or the model kit and build her, I'm going to have her in a super badass pose, like how she is as a warrior. But I think it turned out well, the end product. You know, these Flame Toys action figures and model kits are very stylized. So, you know, there are features that are very exaggerated on the characters. You know, Starscream's got very exaggerated features. Windblade does as well. And I'll probably end up picking up one of these just to support there being more female Transformer figures, you know, and model kits because, you know, that's important to me. And, you know, so I think this looks good. You know, there's obviously everyone has their opinion on this figure and that's your own opinion. So, we're all Transformers fans. We all want to collect Transformers and have fun. So, if someone doesn't like something, they don't have to buy it, you know, if it exists. So, anyways, Charles, what are your thoughts on this Flame Toys model kit of Windblade?
Yeah, this one is not for me, so I probably will not be getting this one. But I do like Windblade, the character, and I like, you know, a lot of her toys that have come out. But yeah, I just feel like for me, I want more blocky designs for my robots, and this design is it's too, I guess it's too anime girl for me. But you know, I think a lot of people do like this design, so hopefully that means we will still get more female designs in this model kit series. But I would also like to get some diversity in body types for models too. So I mean, like I see just a comparison with with all the other Transformers that have been in this line, that you get I think you get a lot of different types of body designs here, and I would like to see a little bit more, you know, bulky robotic design rather than the kind of super thin exaggerated design. So, but that's my opinion, like you said. So I won't get it, but I hope everyone who does get it enjoys it. It does look very posable though.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. Like, my preference would be if it actually looked more robotic, but it's kind of hard because we don't get a lot of female Transformer figures anyways. So I'm hoping that they will release some other characters, like maybe Strika, you know. That would be really cool to get a model kit of her, you know. So yeah, it'd be great to get other types. So, Jeremy, what are your thoughts on this?
Overall, I'm kind of okay with the way this figure's come out. I completely agree with you on the poses that they chose. That, I mean, I feel like they're just trolling people with some of these poses. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the figure itself, I'm sure it looks great. The packaging art, though, I think is just a little busy with like the wind effects that they put on there. It's just, I don't know, it just seems really hazy, and you can see on the other side much more clear image of Windblade, but that cityscape image, I don't know, just something like, I just wish it wasn't quite so busy. But yeah, I mean, this is probably not going to be a buy for me because I still have an IDW Autobot Megatron I haven't put together, and I've had it for years. So just for time, I'm probably not going to get this, but I think it'll be a neat kit to put together for those that do get it. And, good luck, because I'm sure there's lots of tiny pieces that will just be frustrating at times to get into place. But yeah, I mean, Flame Toys does do good stuff. So I'm happy that this is finally going to see store shelves.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your thoughts on this. Daryl, what are your thoughts on this model kit?
Well, I mean, we have discussed it, through all its iterations as it's, kind of been coming out. The blowback on this has been fairly severe, but I'm glad it's still coming out because there's a lot of people out there that want it. And for the, it's one of those ones that I'm probably not getting myself. Just I don't do a lot of the model kits. I do a couple, but not all of them. But for the people that out there that are that have tried to stop this one from coming out, this kit is going to be incredibly popular. There are a number of people out there that'll buy this kit just on the fact that it's in its essence, it's an anime girl kind of a deal, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the entire reason why they'll get it. They may not even know who Windblade is, right? But they'll get it because of what the figure represents. And whatever you want to think of that is fine, but that's not why you were buying it. But that's why they want to buy it. And a person can buy something for whatever they want, for whatever reason they want. That's why the free market exists, right? Mm-hmm. But we've discussed on the show before about why the stark contrast exists between the Windblade design and for future reference, we do know that there is an RC coming in a very similar design, right? So there is another female character coming, which has already garnered a bit of controversy as well. But there is such a stark contrast between this Windblade design and the characters based on male body types. Mm-hmm. And it just comes down to where these figures are designed. Yes, they are Hasbro branded, but they are all designed in Japan, right? Mm-hmm. And that's an entirely different market. But Transformers are sold there, and this is the market that they are kind of appealing to. That being said, there's a lot of that sensibilities that have come over to North America, and whether or not the people like us are on board with those sensibilities, it's really it doesn't matter. The people that are interested in this, and that's what they want. So if you don't like it, write to Hasbro, but the people that do like it are buying them, and this is going to be one of those figures that's going to be not available on the shelves. Like, it's going to be gone. Mm-hmm. In my local comic book shop where they sell Flames Toys figures, there are still some figures that have been kind of shelf warming forever. Like, I think like a Shattered Glass Optimus was there forever. There's a few, like I think there was a Skywarp that was sat there forever. Just some figures that just, they're not as popular. This one will not sit there. It will be gone. And that's just the nature of this kind of industry. I'm happy for the people that want it because they get what they want. And if you don't like it, sorry about your luck, right? That's just the way it is. Yeah. So, when it boils it right down, our opinions really don't matter when it comes to the what the figures are about, like what the meanings are. Yeah, I wish that the advertising may not have put her in some of these positions, right? But that's I don't own the figure. I can't change the pictures that they took. So like you said, when you buy the figure and you finish assembling it, then you can put her in whatever position you want her to be in. And if you want her to look like a badass warrior, then you make her look like a badass warrior. And then you take some pictures and you post them up on Twitter or Instagram or whatever the hell you want to post them on. And you show your followers or the people that are surrounding you, you show them the way you see Windblade, right? So that's all you can do.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts on that. And also too, I think with part of the reason why there's an inconsistency amongst the Flame Toys designs is they've had a few different designers work on different characters. So, I think it would help if maybe they had like the same person design all the characters or at least be involved at some level, but it's out of our control. So, yeah, I'm just glad that we're getting more Transformer figures and model kits, I'd prefer it if she did look more like the comic book version of her, but I'm glad that we have the Windblade coming out. So thank you for sharing your thoughts. And that's all I have this week to talk about.
Okay, I'll wrap things up with a final topic, and this is some new Legacy figures. So this is the new line after the War for Cybertron trilogy is over. We've got the Transformers Legacy starting this year, and Hasbro just revealed a couple of new Core Class figures. So this is Core Class is the replacement for Legends Class. These are the smaller size figures that Hasbro puts out. And we've got Skywarp and Iguanus. So Skywarp, of course, is one of the Seekers. So not surprising that he gets a figure in the new line. Although one thing is surprising, he gets a new weapon. That weird, I don't even know what that is. That like a taser or something? I don't know what that little thing is. But he doesn't have his classic arm cannons, which is surprising. And then the other figure, Iguanus, is a pretender, which is just interesting in of itself that we're getting a new figure that represents a G1 pretender. Of course, this figure is not a pretender itself. It just transforms. The robot mode looks like it's the G1 pretender shell, and then the vehicle mode looks like the G1 inner robot motorcycle. So that's interesting that they decided to do that. So yeah, really just surprising choices for these two Core Class figures, and interesting. That's what I can say. But it's the Iguanus in particular for Skywarp. I'm just wondering why they left off his regular arm weapons and gave him that little tuning fork thing. But Daryl, what are your thoughts on these two new Legacy figures?
Well, the Skywarp, I think we kind of knew was coming. It's just one of those ones that they did a Starscream, so the other two are coming at some point. The weapon, I mean, that seems to be, when this kind of this news of this one fell, that seemed to be the topic of discussion. Is where are his null rays? Where's the arm cannons? But they seem to have gotten rid of those for. This kind of weapon that they've got in his hand, the weapon with Iguanus, and then there's a sword with Legend Scale, or I guess it's Core Class Rodimus. They all appear to combine into one kind of super weapon for whatever reason, and that seems to be the gimmick they're going with for these Core Class figures. Regardless of this combining weapon, it still would have been nice to have the arm cannons. That just seems like something that these figures need to have. Maybe, it's something that you'll get in a weapons pack. They do one of those weapons pack every year now, so they needed something for the Core Class figures, and here you go. So now there'll be something for later on down the road. The Iguanus, I don't know. I don't like it. That's the main thing, as I'm not a real big fan of it. Iguanus is one of those figures that as a pretender, he's big, and as a he didn't have an alt mode, or I guess the inner robot had an alt mode, but it was as a pretender alt mode or jank. But I guess the robot mode looks fine enough, but I don't know. I don't like it. It's this motorcycle thing looks kind of haphazardly put together. It feels like it's forced into an alt mode. The robot mode looks like it was planned. That was what it was supposed to be. The robot mode was the first priority. Then they were like, okay, now what are we going to turn it into? Okay, well, let's strap some wheels to the back, and we'll kind of turn it into a motorcycle. So that seems to be what, in my opinion, what they kind of did with the Iguanus. It's fine. It's Core Class. It's not anything kind of overly special. It's easily skippable. It's not an expensive toy either if you do get one and you really don't like it. Now, my question is are they starting pretenders with the Legacy line, though? And are they all going to be Core Class? Because the last time they did this, they were all those Prime Master-sized, and they were all fun, and they were really dirt cheap to kind of get, and they were neat, and they really didn't have anything to them. but they weren't expensive to kind of get into. Like one of these core class figures here is $15 here in Canada. Like, you know, it's not expensive enough to really kind of break the bank, but it's expensive enough that if you gotta buy a set of something, like, then it's gonna really kind of, you know, irk me if I, if the whole set of them is in core class and now I've got to finish off all the damn pretenders again. So yeah, but either way, this first one, Iguanus, I'm not super thrilled with the way it looks. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I'd prefer, if you're going to do the pretenders, then do the pretenders and have them still have the pretender gimmick.
Exactly.
So, you know, I just think it's interesting that they went with, they plucked the pretenders out of all the things they could do to put in this legacy line. They plucked those and put this here. So it was, yeah, a weird choice, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what the direction will be for the Skywarp. I mean, I just to check, I looked at the core class Starscream that came out in War for Cybertron Kingdom, and he has the null rays. So there's no reason why they couldn't keep them on the Skywarp, but I don't know. I don't know why they didn't. Apollo, what do you think of these figures?
I think they're cool. Like, I have the core class Starscream from Kingdom, and I think this is really cool with Skywarp. I also like that. See, I get that people want consistency amongst their lines, you know, with like him not having his null rays is like inconsistent, but I think it's cool that they're doing something different with him for once. But Iguanus, I think they got his name right. He looks really cool. Like, I don't really care for the vehicle mode. I do think it was kind of a rushed design decision. There wasn't a lot of thought put into it from what I can tell. But I like how he looks in his root mode. I think he looks really cool. And, you know, perhaps I will be picking up one of these. But we will see what 2022 has in store for my collecting. I definitely am cutting back this year a lot in my personal collecting, but I can admire these toys from afar.
All right. And Jeremy, what did you think?
I think Skywarp looks good. I'm only hoping that the null rays will come in some kind of weapon box like we got back, I think, with wasn't COG, was it? It was
that Brunt, it was a Centurion, I guess.
Right, the Centurion drone. Yeah, so I'm hoping they do something like that again, and we'll get some of these missing weapons because, you know, it seems like, you know, very simple piece of plastic they could throw in. But in terms of Skywarp himself, I think, you know, he looks good for, you know, core class figure. It is kind of odd that the art on the packaging has his fists under the wings. You know, usually the packaging isn't as accurate to the toy in the kind of, you know, the artist rendition. So I just thought that was kind of funny. Iguanus, his robot mode looks fine, I guess. I never had any of the monster pretenders, so I don't have that big of a connection to him. But when I saw the motorcycle mode, the first thing I thought of was the GoBot Zod. You know, that, you know, T-Rex kind of thing that went down and became like a motorcycle. And I can't not see that now. So you're welcome, everyone else that now will be forced to see that.
I can't unsee that now.
In my mind, it just has to be an homage to that because with the way that the GoBot rights are, you know, where Hasbro can make GoBots, but they don't have rights to like the animated characters or something like that. It would be a neat way to just kind of get that representation out there. But I don't know. I'm not as big of a fan of the Iguanus as Skywarp, but I do kind of like what they're doing with the core class figures here. And, you know, we have come a long way with that class of figures from Hasbro. From, like, I remember that, like, some of the horrible Legends scaled figures that they were doing, you know, back when we were starting the podcast. And, you know, these are so much better than they used to be.
Yeah. Also, I mean, just to be fair, they have bumped the price point up too. So, this is, I think these are now in the US. These are $10.99, so $11 essentially. Whereas I think the Legends classes we were looking at a few years ago were
$6.
Yeah,
but I mean, then again, if you look at a Legends class third-party figure, you're still paying a lot more than
that's true.
These core class figures. So the engineering is not quite like a third-party Legend scale figure would be, but it is remarkable what they're doing with all the QA and stuff that Hasbro figures have to go through.
True. All right, well, that's all our toy topics, so we will move on to trips to the store. This is where we show off all the cool Transformer stuff we got this week. We do this as a video so you can see everything we got in beautiful high definition on YouTube, but we'll have the audio right here in the show so you can keep listening as we describe everything we have in loving detail. So without further ado, trips to the store.
The Transmissions Podcast will return after these messages.
All right, let's show off the stuff we got. Just the toys, Daryl. The toys. That's all we're showing off this week. Okay. So Apollo, you're gonna go first. Help us out. Show us what you got.
All right. So starting with tradition, I have a new Starscream figure. This is the shattered glass version of the Siege Seeker mold. This is way improved. This is the best version of this mold that has come out yet. The chest piece doesn't pop off, which was a big problem with this mold originally. And he actually has ankle tilt, which I haven't compared it with the old ones, but I don't remember them having that ability. The plastic also seems very sturdy. And yeah, this is a really nice figure. It also came with an exclusive comic with the variant cover, which is really cool. I think it's sporting Casey Collar's art, if I'm correct.
Yes.
But I wasn't sure about Shattered Glass, but this is a really nice figure. I do have Shattered Glass Optimus Prime, and I had Ratchet at one point, but I think this is, not to be biased because it's Starscream, I think this is probably one of the better figures that have come out. I'd be interested to see what the other ones are like in hand. And that's all I have for this week.
The white on that figure is vibrant. Like, it's crazy white.
Yeah, I'll have to see how long he stays this color before fading to yellow. Right.
Just keep it in a dark room.
Yeah, you should get a second one and put it next to your window.
Yeah. We'll see.
You can test.
It's like he's Jetfire colors, basically. I guess good Starscream would be Jetfire.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna go next, and I've got one thing I wanted to show is this was a shirt my wife gave me for the anniversary of our first date was this weekend. So she surprised me with this shirt. This is you can see the Autobot symbol on the shirt, and all the parts of the Autobot symbol are made up of names of Autobots. So you can see Optimus Prime up here, and then you've got Ironhide and Grimlock, and Autobots is the nose there, and it's nice. It's cool. It's a very, very unique design, and she surprised me with it. So.
Did you get it from TeePublic?
I don't think so. It's okay, though. I still appreciate it.
Yeah.
What'd you give her, big guy?
Flowers and candy.
I'm just surprised that you guys remember the first date. I know the month and the year, but that's well as my memory.
I put it in my Google Calendar so I never forget it every year.
Oh. Pro tip.
This is why you have PhD.
Mine's easy. I mistakenly took my wife out for our first date on Valentine's Day. I had no idea it was Valentine's Day.
Oh no.
I said,
Wow.
you want to go get some coffee and maybe something to eat? And she's like, sure. When? I said, Sunday. Sunday was Valentine's Day. I was like, I'm an idiot.
You were an idiot then, but now you're like,
yeah, there you go. So
it's a power
two
move.
birds with one stone, right? Yeah.
And I also did get this was not for my wife. I just picked this one up. Everyone had been raving about the Core Class Soundwave. Everyone had seen it. I've seen it on the shelves many times. I passed it and passed it up over at the store several times. I finally picked it up. So Core Class Soundwave in his tape deck mode. It's probably no one under 30 knows what a tape deck is, but there it is. And yeah, it's got the
were the ravings correct, or were they of a madman?
It's a good figure. It's a cute little figure. I like Soundwave. I like the little Laserbeak tape that, although it doesn't transform, that's still fine. But it's a cute little figure. Transformation is easy. Yeah, I like it. So it was a nice little impulse buy I picked up. Glad I got it. So transforms pretty easily. It is a core class figure.
Mm-hmm. Well, and how many ways are there to transform a G1 looking Soundwave?
Yeah, that's true. All right, that's all I got. So, Daryl, you're up next.
Okay. I do have a couple comics that I've just been meaning to show off, and I just keep forgetting to. The first one is the book we're going to do this week. This is Wreckers, Tread, and Circuits, number 4, cover A. I forget who did it.
Jack Lawrence.
Okay, cool. Yes, it's a nice looking cover, and very action packed. Yeah. And then the second one is Transformers 39 with my man Alex Milne on cover A, and this is the dripping Cybertron cover. It's just a badass cover. It's a really nice one. So yeah, this one was an easy pickup for me. The figures that I have this week are one. I kind of was on the fence about picking this thing up, and then I thought, what the hell? I really like this mold, and I have a boxed version of it, but the original. But this is the the recolor. This is RID Galvatron. So this is the white Megatron. But like I said, I really, really like this mold, and he becomes 6 things or 7 things, I guess.
10 things.
10 things. That's right. I'm looking up at the box right now, and 10 things. So yeah, so he becomes a whole bunch of different freaking things, and I like the silhouette of this thing. The wings are just awesome on this thing, and yeah, he's cool. He's just a really cool looking figure. I have to say, I still like the purple one better, the Megatron version better, just because the coloring on him is just badass. But this is still pretty cool. So, yeah. R.I.D. Galvatron.
That chest is not susceptible to gold plastic syndrome, is it?
No. It's just...
it's just painted.
Painted or what is it? Vacuum seal or whatever?
Vacuum plated.
Yeah. So, yeah. It's liable to chipping, but not gold plastic. Yeah. And then the second one is something that I got for Christmas. And, it's... I guess it was from Santa. This is a Mon toy. This is a dollar store figure. And it's not exactly Transformers. It is Robot Warrior. The Battle Combat. Yeah, he's, this is a blue car figure. Excuse me.
Who
this
gave
is one
you
of
that?
those dollar figures. Santa Claus, Charles.
Oh.
Santa Claus. So it's $4. Somebody probably went through the dollar store and thought, "Oh, Daryl likes Transformers," and picked it up for me. 3+. 3+.
This is when Hasbro doesn't grant Santa the license to make it.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's they're crap, but they're a fun and easy crap. So I'll kick it around and whatever. It's one of those things that I can mess around with that really doesn't mean anything. That's
Santa
it.
watches this video
week.
and cries that you called his present crap.
oh, he didn't like it. Oh.
You're making Santa cry.
Lies make baby Santa cry.
Yes.
All right, we're going to end the show with Jeremy.
All right. I got nothing new, but I was pulling some stuff from a bin. The first thing, since I knew Apollo was going to be here, and I saw this. I'm like, well, I'm going to show this. This is from 2006. This is the titanium die-cast Starscream.
Ooh.
And this is actually a Micro Machines figure. Like, it actually says on the back, or in the logo on the back, Titanium Series is a division of Micro Machines.
Oh, wow.
Blurry. But,
From the
it's
lube.
just, yeah. So, kind of, interesting. And it's got that, awesome logo of the time. So, I also, in the same bin was these Robot Heroes from 2007, around the same era. And this is Rat Trap and Beast Wars Megatron. These are very simple. They're, for young kids, but I got them. I never opened it. The plastic does have the Maximal and Predacon logos embedded. And the series had a mix of G1 characters and Beast Wars characters. So, it was just, something fun for the kids. I got it probably because of the Beast Wars Megatron. But another thing that I haven't opened and probably never will, and I'm sure I'll come home one day and find my kids opened it. And then the last thing here, this was also in that same bin, and I'm surprised I never opened it. So I'm going to open it here. This is a Kabaya kit from, I'm not sure when, but this is an original War for Cybertron, the video game era Optimus Prime. So
I have that one.
Yeah, so this
the
it has
original
never
figure.
been opened, so the gum is still in here.
It's going to be good. It's going to be so good.
So,
I would advise against not eating that gum, not putting that gum in your
Yeah.
mouth.
I would
I will
advise
eat
against
weird-
trying it at least once.
I've tried it once. I will eat weird, but Transformers themed cheeses, but I will not eat the Kabaya gum. That strangely, it is not solid. Like I can bend it. It's not.
Oh, it's still good. It's still good then.
So
Or it's
but
turned
anyway.
into a mucusy paste.
probably it's going to stay in that package. But the Kabaya kit, I mean, Flame Toys has got nothing on these, right?
It's true.
No, yeah, these are just simple model kits. I have a Fortress Maximus one in a bag somewhere that it was three of these boxes
Wow.
to do the whole thing. But you get the sprues. So I guess I'll be putting this together. And what's cool is because these are Takara, it actually transforms. I wonder if Repro Labels has better labels for Kabaya kits.
I don't think so.
I really wish that Takara would come back and do these things. They're really cool. The instructions are on the inside of the box, but I saw that and I'm like, well, why did I never put this one together? I mean, it's a good Optimus Prime design, so maybe in a week or two I'll have it put together and can show it off. But that is all I got this week.
Cool. We'll be Optimus Prime twin buddies, Kabaya kit twin buddies.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for this week's Trips to the Store.
We now return to the Transmissions Podcast.
We're back from our trips to the store, and that will do it for this episode of Transmissions. Apollo, thanks again for joining us this week. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you online?
Yeah. Just really quick. I had planned on going to TFCon LA. I was going to be selling an artist alley, and I ended up canceling my plans doing that. So just because of the state of COVID right now, I'm not comfortable traveling. So I'll have to see anyone who is planning on hanging out at a future TFCon. But anyways, you can find me on social media at RoboApollo on Twitter and Instagram. And I am opening up commissions again. So you can check out my pinned tweet with more information on that.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, cool for the commissions, but not cool that you had to cancel TFCon. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But yeah, looks like COVID is still hanging around and being terrible. So that's unfortunate. But
it's just my comfort level. I just don't want to be worried about getting sick and being stranded. So
yeah, it's totally understandable. So All right. Well, definitely check out Apollo's commissions on her social media and see if there's something you might want to get. And of course, at the end of every episode of Transmissions, we give a shout out to our Masterpiece Donatrions. So thank you again to John 4X Levengood, Donabot Maximize, Demon Tech 82, and Curtis Akan. You guys are awesome, and thank you for continuing to support the show at our highest level, which is why we give you a shout out in every episode. And last thing, if you want to support the show by buying some merchandise, you can go to our TeePublic store, and that is at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. And you can buy anything from TeePublic through our link, and that will help out the show. Well, that's it, everyone. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.